Well, it is a courtroom clash between two tech titans. Could it also be a major moment for the future of AI and humanity? In California, a trial is now underway pitting Elon Musk against Sam Altman and the company that they helped create, OpenAI. That's the maker of ChatGPT. Now, the case goes back to 2015 when OpenAI launched as a nonprofit company with a declared mission to build artificial intelligence for the benefit of humanity. Musk helped fund that project, but he now claims the original mission was abandoned when the company shifted to a for-profit model and partnered up with Microsoft. A public good, according to Musk, that was turned into a money-making machine. OpenAI rejects that, arguing that Musk is simply jealous that his own AI company, which is XAI, that it's trailing far behind OpenAI. OpenAI's legal team says that the facts are clearly on their side.
The hurdle we think we need to get over is just to present the truth here. We've got a story about what happened that is consistent with the facts, it's consistent with the documents, and we just want the jury to see that. And we think any fair jury will understand our position, and we think they'll side with us, and we think we've got a jury that'll do that.
Well, it is a closely watched case, especially as OpenAI prepares for a massive IPO expected sometime this year, a listing on the stock market that could turn OpenAI into a trillion dollar company. I want to pull in Lindsay Gorman now. She's managing director of the German Marshall Fund's technology program. Lindsay, it's good to see you. At its simplest level, before we talk about the business side of this, I mean, what is this case between Elon Musk and OpenAI really about?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. This is really about the heart of what AI systems are being developed for and whether they are in the public interest and in the public benefit. And this is an issue that I think is on everyone's mind, whether it's workers thinking about job displacement, hospitals or critical infrastructure providers thinking about cybersecurity. Ultimately, who is governing and making decisions on these AI systems is really at issue, because the lawsuit here is really about OpenAI's public benefit corporation status and whether that's betrayed its founding mission as a nonprofit back in 2015.
I want to talk about that in just a moment, but obviously we have to discuss these two men. I mean, we're talking about two huge tech titans and two, I guess we could say, two huge egos clashing in court, aren't we?
We're definitely talking about personalities here, and if you look back at what's some of what's been released, it's clear these two men were working together to found OpenAI, had a falling out, and they're now at odds in the courtroom. So I think it does give it a little bit of an impression of these two giants duking it out, and with great impact for the rest of us. But yes, I think it's hard to ignore that there is probably something personal underneath what are probably valid legal questions, and certainly questions for all of us.
Yeah, let me ask you about these legal questions. Elon Musk, he is arguing that OpenAI betrayed its nonprofit mission. How credible is that claim based on what we have seen so far?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, here's what we know. In 2015, OpenAI was founded as a nonprofit. That comes with a certain set of requirements. It comes with a public interest mission. Remember, I think today we see OpenAI and many of the AI firms as companies, but it was only a few years ago that we were talking about them as research labs. And OpenAI's mission really was this, I mean, it's in the name itself, Open AI lab, that was going to have the public interest, going to have a certain measure of transparency in these systems it was building out as it strove towards artificial general intelligence. That's why it's set up as a nonprofit. That's why it had a founding board, and still does today. And that is the vision that I think Sam Altman really has been selling for the better part of the last decade. Now, in two separate restructurings, first in 2019 and then again last year, OpenAI has moved more towards this for-profit mission, including partnering with Microsoft significantly to build out its business. Now, what OpenAI says is that this has actually been necessary to realize this AI vision that's going to be good for humanity, that's in the public interest, specifically because buying and building out AI data centers requires such a large capital investment. And we're talking hundreds of billions of dollars. This is not something most nonprofits, I work at a nonprofit, can really afford. And so OpenAI has justified this move in restructuring to have to be able to take on these build outs with this public interest mission in mind. So I think that, it's really, do you think that what OpenAI is doing is in the public interest, is serving a public mission with these restructurings that's happened?
And we know that OpenAI is arguing that Musk was there at the very beginning and that he wanted control of the company, and now it's sour grapes. He's not with the company anymore. He has a rival AI company, and that company is not doing half as well as OpenAI.
That's right. And OpenAI even filed some documents with the court that allegedly show that, in fact, Elon Musk himself wanted to take OpenAI in a more for-profit direction there. So who's ultimately done it may just be who was the last man standing in OpenAI itself. But I think you also raised a point that there are clearly interested parties here. Elon Musk runs xAI, which is a competitor. I think the outcome of this lawsuit and trial will have reverberations with other competitors. Google is in the AI game. Facebook, Meta is in the AI game. So there is clearly a competitive dynamics at play here in terms of capturing this piece of the AI value pie.
Lindsay, we hear so much about the dangers of AI to humanity. I mean, we're told that time is running out for people to put guardrails on AI. AI is just growing exponentially. So how should people feel as they watch this trial that centers around basically good intentions allegedly hijacked by greed and profits?
Well, maybe either the irony or the significance is that Sam Altman himself has been one of the loudest voices calling for guardrails, calling for there to be some recognition among governments that action needs to be taken because of these very powerful AI systems. So I think that is in the backdrop of all of this. But look, I think it's hard to say that this isn't a dual motive here. Whatever these men have in their heart of hearts, AI is transforming industries, it's transforming economies, it's transforming societies. We're going down that path in that direction. And the reality is that most governments haven't really enacted meaningful guardrails. Now, the guardrails that OpenAI might call for could be different from the ones that Anthropic would call for, could be different from the ones even that Microsoft would call for, and could be different from the ones that, for example, the folks in Brussels with the EU-AI Act would call for. But the reality is, I think there is large-scale agreement that some regulatory measures, some guardrails need to be put in place. And I think that's really underscored, by the way, by news from last week about Anthropic's own cybersecurity tool, Mythos, where now AI is able to out-hack a digital intruder. So there is a need for public action here for sure.
Lindsay Gorman with the German Marshall Fund. Lindsay, it's always good to talk with you. Good to get your insights. Thank you.
You too.